So I wanted to show you real quick what I've done so far with this program. Um, I went ahead and got the desktop version of this app. You can also just work online, but it seems to work a little bit more smoothly with the desktop. So whenever you log in, there is a project preloaded that comes with the app, that just so that you can try out some of the analytic features if you want to without having to put a bunch of data in. I went ahead and added some data from the voice of the customer reports, and I put an extra layer of security on this, which is kind of a pain because then you've got to enter a password each time. If we don't do that, then we won't need to add that key each time. I don't know how big a deal it is, but to start with, I did put a password on it. So this is what comes up for the home page. Over here in the lower left are all the codes that I entered. And we'll have to talk a little bit about how exactly to use those. That's that entire kind of code tree based on the placemats. But I don't know the best way to use that when I'm actually tagging the media. So the media are up here. Those are those 6 reports that Maddie gave me. I turned those from PowerPoint presentations into PDFs to be able to upload. And so you can see there are 53 different tags from this report, 58 from this one. This one I haven't done much yet. So it's only got one tag right now. This is the view that pops up when you first go in to tag that. So let's go back into this report, and it's nice. It's easy to zoom this into whatever size you'd like to have it. So now you can see the codes are down here on the left, and the report is here in the main part of the window. And just an example of how to tag this. It says for us the cost was actually a decrease in what we were paying. So what I will do is just highlight that entire thing, and when you click down here, that highlights it, and then it's ready to tag. So for that, they're talking about health and welfare, and specifically about health insurance. So what I haven't been doing is tagging each kind of layer of that tree, each level. I've just been going more directly to what they're talking about. But in hindsight, I wonder if it's going to be easier to see kind of the big themes if we go in and tag each piece of it. So I double click on that and it tags it as health and welfare. Double click on health insurance. I'm going to drop this down. And what they're talking about, I think in this quote, is cost savings. And they mention employee value. Yeah, it says we're able to share some of that with the employees. So based on that, I'll go ahead and add employee value here. So now we've really got just the 2 tags for this, but we've also got the 2 that kind of lead to that. If you want to get rid of a tag, it's pretty easy. You just click the X there and it takes it off. Double click down here and adds it back on. So it's really pretty easy to tag this as you're going through, just line by line. Like I said, I've got a bunch of this coded already, although I'm not very confident that it's going to be exactly what you're looking for. The nice thing is it shouldn't be hard to go through, look at how I've got it coded, and add or take away tags based on what you see when you read those quotes, or Maddie or whoever. Um, so then from here, if we go into analyze, just kind of a couple of things that we can do pretty quickly. Let's see, it's not this one. Never remember. There it is. This will show a table, and you can decide which descriptor field you want over here. So I've got company name over here. It's got all the coding here across the top, and kind of shows you at a glance what's getting tagged the most. So partnership has got a lot there, 14 in this one, 17 in that one. Just an easy way to see pretty quickly the stuff that's standing out. If we go down here, we can do basically the same thing. Again, you select the field that you want to use. We'll add that, and then you can go down here, and if we wanted to look at all of the HR stuff, we click that. Like I said, I haven't been tagging kind of the top level of these a lot, so that doesn't show a lot. But if we come down to one that does seem to get tagged a lot, service team, then communication, or handoffs. Then you can kind of see, again, at a glance, what's there. As far as further analytics, I haven't really messed with it very much, but this just kind of gives you a quick idea of what I've done with this so far. There are also memos that you can add anywhere, just kind of tag that media that would be maybe specific directions. Another thing that I didn't really talk about in these codes, one of the things that you can do is weight codes. And I haven't really done very much of that at all, even to see how it would work. But for example, in employee relations, when we're talking about communication, it would be possible to weight that so that if the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 1, we could weight a negative comment as a 1, and a positive as a 10, and have a default weight either of 0 so that we would know that there was nothing there, no tag there, or a 5 as just a neutral. Or I'm guessing you would have maybe some better thoughts about how to use that. But then when you go into the media and you're tagging those, we could tag comments as positive or negative. We could also add another code that would be, quote worthy, or something that you want to hold on to, one that really stands out that you think you would want to use to illustrate a particular point. So you'd have really a nice list of those, because in the analyze, I think, and again, I haven't done enough with it, but you can go in and filter for specific tags. So you could filter for memorable quotes and have all those kind of right at your fingertips when it's time to pull that together and look for quotes that illustrate the point that you're trying to make, or the point that the data is pulling out. So anyway, that's what I've done so far. I thought this might just kind of speed our conversation next week if you could glance at this really quickly on your own time, and that'll probably give you time to think of more questions as you're looking at this. So I look forward to talking to you about it next week.